Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to Oh and the Town with another early Saturday kickoff at Kenilworth Road, and it sees the Hatters put up, I think, a brilliant performance against promotion chasing Leeds United. It was almost like old times for me, and I think we matched them and fought them for a much needed result that could prove priceless at the end of our season. Frustrated 1-1 at the end, I suppose, but some might feel we could have done more. We'll see what the lads think in a minute. And did the performance change your opinion on our chances of staying up? Which players stood out for you? We asked you those questions and we'll get your views on that point soon. And as usual, we'll have your 3-word reviews and much, much more. If you're watching on YouTube, can I ask already, will you go like and subscribe? And then I'll introduce who's with us. We've got Steve and Bataro, lads. Thanks for coming up this evening.
No problem. How are we?
Good evening. Yes, mate. All good, all good. How are we all?
Lovely.
Good?
Yeah.
I somewhat enjoyed Saturday. It's It was a bit like the old Kenilworth Road. It was rocking a bit. The game was good. The atmosphere was good.
It was a good
just
event.
Missed
good
the
event,
3 points. Yeah, just
and the sun was out.
And the sun was out. It was like we're ready to do this now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it did feel that way. It was really promising.
Leeds United come into town. Other people might just start singing Joy Division at some point when Leeds at this time of the season, but they're a force to be reckoned with. They've been up the top all of the season. They've been on the top spot, second spot, and now I think they're third, aren't they?
Yeah.
They would have come expecting a difficult game, but not expecting not to take all 3 points.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, to be honest with you. But I think our confidence is really building the last 2 or 3 games particularly. And whilst we're not sort of free scoring at this point, we're so much better shape.
Yeah, solid at the back as well. I think I said to you, Steve, before the pod started, I feel like in the middle of the park as well, we're starting to grips as well. And it's just nice to see us doing the basics once.
Yep.
As all season we've been struggling to do those. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Why do you think that is it Matt Bloomfield's influence on the team, or have they just stepped up?
I would suggest that you've got to put it down to Matt Bloomfield and his coaches, to be honest with you. You know, I said right at the outset when he joined us that, you know, his interviews were very clear, very concise, you know, how he wanted to approach things, being brave on the ball, etc. like that. And I said, if he is that clear and straightforward on the training field, then it must pay dividends. I just feel that sometimes we would just disappear and up ourselves. Previously, we were maybe making it too difficult. We were stretching, trying to find an answer. And I think sometimes it only takes like a clear head to come in and say, right, back to the basics. And say he set out how he wants it to be, and then he's just hammered it every day in training. And, you know, we have said that we've seen improvements in our shape and all stuff like that. And I think, and I think, you know, I'm hoping that it isn't 4 or 5 games too late.
Well, we all are, aren't we?
That's the thing. Was that sorry?
I said we all are, aren't we?
Well, I think this is the discussion we had at the weekend, wasn't it? I think, I think possibly it could be too late. But you know what? I'm not going to be so negative today. But
the actual tables doesn't look that bad if we get a win against Stoke City.
I mean,
then it looks a little bit better.
The form is good at the moment, like you say. The form is good at the moment. But
I suppose
can we continue the form and keep it? I don't know.
The saddest thing is that when we put in a performance and we get a good result, everyone around us gets a result. Yeah. You know, who would have thought that Sheffield United would have lost to Oxford, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, and I know we're looking ahead of us, but you know, Plymouth beat Norwich. You know, Cardiff have been picking up some points and stuff like that. So it really is difficult, and that's why I'm thinking, because we're not free scoring at the moment. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking: have we left it a little bit too late?
A few weeks back, I mean, we're looking at like 3-4 teams that you could you look at it and still go, yeah, they're well in it, they're well in it. But these teams are pulling away now. I'm looking at 1 or 2 rather than 3 or 4 or 5. We have to win tomorrow, in my opinion.
Well, my boss is a QPR fan, and he says they're in absolutely awful form at the moment. And he said that they are right back in it as far as he's concerned. Do you know what? I haven't looked. Have a quick look at the table. But, you know, he certainly feels that they're in it, and the fact that they're in shocking form at the moment.
I'm sure I thought they was quite a way out of it, really.
So look, hang on 2 seconds.
Okay, you carry on.
Maybe it's your typical pessimistic fan.
Well, you know, it's QPR. What do you expect?
Exactly that. Yeah, but no, I think our shape, structure, and at times our press is. You can see it improving game on game, and this is what's great because we hadn't seen any work on the training field for such a long time. We hadn't seen any improvements in the way we were playing. You know, and it has taken 9 or 10 games under Matt Bloomfield for us to start to see it. But
it took him a while at Wickham.
Yeah, I mean,
it took him half a season to get them firing.
Yeah,
and since he's left, they've dropped their position. They're now 3rd. So, sorry, have you got an answer?
So yes, I'm looking at obviously QPR at the moment. They're currently on 46. Obviously, we're on 39. I mean,
it's not unsurmountable.
7 points. I mean, yeah. I mean, and obviously, well, I said for me, there's only 2 teams in it for me. I mean, you've got to be looking at Derby and Stoke. I mean, Hull for me, I don't think will go down. I think they'll probably finish a few places higher than that.
Yeah.
Portsmouth, I'm still hoping to get dragged into it.
Yeah.
I can see it potentially. I don't know, but they're the teams I'm looking at. Obviously, Derby, so Derby, Cardiff, Stoke, and then possibly Portsmouth for me. But
and I think that this is why I feel we have to find our goal scoring form more to realistically have a really good chance, because I think we're doing everything so much better. It's just getting the goals.
And the fact that our goal difference is so poor as well, that's also another concern.
Yeah, that's almost a point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about Stoke in a bit, but let's talk about the weekend's game at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town 1, Leeds United 1. The 3-word reviews this week. Gary will take that. John, good battling performance. Andy, thoroughly deserved point. Tim, proper Luton performance. Louise, more like ourselves. Joe, looking way better. Brooke, Makoso, pivotal player. Carl, Jones, Makoso, Asgard. Chloe, there's still hope. And Lee, belief is growing. Do you want to take a couple of those, fellas?
I shall take more like ourselves, like Louise said, because I think the last few weeks we have looked more like the old Luton that we used to know. The aggression's been there. The press, everything about it is just, they want to work for the team. And we haven't seen that all season. I think it was very flat before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying going forward we look amazing. But like I say, we shored it up, we've been aggressive, and we've looked like we actually can defend now. Yeah. Which, not being funny, we've got some good players, so I should hope we could.
Yeah, no, exactly. Belief is growing, Lee. You know, similar to the last couple of weeks on the 3-word review, there's quite a common theme, isn't there? And there's a lot more optimism and, you know, sort of belief about it. So, yeah, belief is growing.
It's growing for us all, is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's just the goals. That's all it is.
That is the problem at goal scoring.
Yes, yeah, of course. I'm just a little bit, I don't know, I'm sitting on the fence with this one. I'm not too sure. I think it may be a bit too late. I know it sounds really negative.
Well, no, because that's what I feel as well at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm just feeling like all the teams around us are going to get the same results or whatever, match us, and we're going to go down by like a point or 2. I just feel like that's going to happen, and it's going to be like, what if we didn't get there? If we got 3 points here and we should have done.
Yeah,
we'll be looking at it back at the end of the season going, shite, you know what I mean? But
look, top of the league, Leeds come to the town, and you're expecting a difficult game. And do you know what? I have to say, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I just thought we took our game to them. I know we started quickly and strongly. It was nice to see the stadium full.
Yep.
And the noise was good.
Yeah.
And we were really getting behind the team. And, you know, Leeds might have had the first chance. But after that, I don't really feel that they penetrated much for the next 15 minutes or so.
And I felt like the more the game went on as well, I felt like they were sort of, you know how we like to go direct sometimes and hook the ball up and over and whatever else. I felt like they were doing that, whereas they were more of a pass and move team if you watched them. But I felt like they were panicking a little bit because we were putting under so much pressure, and it was good to see. It was just, you see a Leeds team a little bit, don't get it wrong, I wouldn't say they were panicking, obviously playing out from the back, but in the final third you could see that the quality weren't there from.
There was one moment in the first
So,
the one moment in the
yeah.
first 10 minutes when I think Kaminsky made a blinding save and pushed,
it was a great save.
incredible, wasn't it? It's right up your street there, right up your end of the stadium. Yeah, if he doesn't get to that, then the game is different.
Yeah, it is. I don't think our outlook on the game would have changed massively, but it would have given them a lot more belief in that. But yeah, I just feel I was expecting them, because they've got a wealth of talent up front, and I was just expecting at any given moment that they could sort of take a goal. I mean, the goal that they scored, I thought it was really, really nicely put away. However, we stood off him. We gave him as much time as he wanted. And really, you're right about Kaminsky saving that, but for a team that has scored so many goals so far this season, we really restricted them well.
Yeah, and opportunities, although the first three we talk about are Leeds United opportunities, I don't, again, feel that they were that thing. The Kaminsky save was off a deflection or something, wasn't it?
That was a brilliant save as well. Yeah,
it was a brilliant save, but I thought we were just as likely to score. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, like the counter attack. Sorry, I sound a bit posh. Yes. No, I mean, just us in general. I think where we were pressing so high up on them, I think like every time we got the ball, we looked like we could, obviously race clear. And obviously, we did for the goal. So,
well, let's talk about the goal, because that goal. People have been knocking Eli for a while. I mean, he hasn't scored. We know that. I think Matt said it was a real team goal, and you can see that from the defensive part of that goal before it gets to Eli, and then his persistence at keeping running, keeping tracking it out, keep shutting him down, and getting the ball to Clark to cross and Jones to score. I mean, it was a phenomenal goal.
I mean, there was almost little bits of comparisons with Clark's goal in the playoff final. Elijah had that long run. I mean, he ran with the ball for a long time. There's two or three men, chipping away at him, and he was using really good strength, and that's what you want to see from him. Just him bulldozing his way forwards. It was a lovely ball, fairly straightforward, but a nice ball out to Clark. And in the last pod, I said about Jones, tucking in when the ball was on the opposite side. And one of the first times I can recall that he done it, he was there to volley it away. It was great because
unmarked as well.
Yeah, that's right. Because we made the comparison, because he scored a hat trick for Guyana, and one of the goals was exactly that, where he tucked in central from a cross coming over from the opposite side, and he was there to put it away, and it's exactly what he done.
Wonderful cushion finish as well.
Yeah,
beside his foot. Yeah, brilliant.
I thought momentum was with us.
Yeah, I mean, it was the energy levels as well. I was kind of worrying. I thought we put in such a shift in the first half, and the pressure and whatever else, and the pressing, and I felt, can we do this for the full game? And you know what? It almost felt like we weren't going to burn out. And obviously we're quite in the second half yet, but
so is that another is that another thing that we can sort of doff our caps to? Improve fitness with the players.
Well, I think so. Maybe they just realise that
it's a mentality.
They needed to step up. They needed to step up. They needed to step up for their careers. They needed to step up for the club and the manager. And it just felt right. It just felt a good performance. It felt like it was Luton Town of promotion year of almost some of the good games that we had in the Premier League too. It was like we were on it.
Yeah, and I don't want to scupper Kaminsky's form, but he's just seemed slightly more assured or better in his choices as to when he's coming off his line the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of times where he's cleared the ball and that, whereas before he's still perilous, but it just seems to be making slightly better decisions at the moment in that regard.
That's a really good point about Kaminsky, Steve. He is making better choices, and we saw that the other week when he was dominating his box a little bit more than he has before, and out a bit earlier, and just taking command of that area.
I think it takes a lot of the strain off the defenders as well. If the keeper's making good choices about when to come off their line, take crosses and things like that, it takes so much pressure off the defenders if they know they can trust their keeper. I mean, he's always been a fantastic shot stopper, no two ways about it, but some of his other parts you could maybe question, but it just seems that has also, it's gone up a level, and I think with, Burke coming back as well, starting to get more settled in the lineups. Just maybe there's a bit more familiarity.
And maybe the back three hasn't changed a lot recently as well, has it? I mean,
no,
that's the same back three since God knows when.
Well, the last sort of I know
games.
Burke's sort of only been back sort of 2 or 3 games, but I was surprised that Naismith wasn't going to come straight back into the team. But it just shows, there are players there, to keep him out.
And the thing is, like you say, we kept a couple of clean sheets away from home as well with the same back three, so we take it. Well, the same back three, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
When you think...
What I was going to say was, just touched on Kaminsky, obviously other parts of his game. What I was going to say is even his kicking, for me, has been a lot better recently as well. And he hasn't panicked and rushed in his kicking. And it's,
Yeah.
So.
No,
But
it's
then
nice.
again, the confidence in your own defence helps that too. If you realise, he's not going to rush sometimes. But he did put my. I think Leeds United keeper couldn't kick for a little while, could he? It was a bit poor. But talking about Leeds United, the goal itself was disappointing for me because of the way that it occurred. I mean, it was a corner, wasn't it? And it cleared away. And now Adebayo shows, I don't know, it was just a bit wide, wasn't he? He was showing him the inside, put him on his left foot almost. Which I'm assuming that's what they've been training to do because
It's his weaker foot, wasn't it, as well?
It was it's almost Easter, so it was one of those like parting of the waters by Moses almost.
Yeah.
Was that Moses?
Why not?
Yeah, let's go Moses. God, well, that's where religion gets me. And from where I'm sitting or standing, you just saw the gap and you just go, well, he's going to score here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the strike was great.
It was. I mean, a couple of people around where I was sitting thought that Kaminsky should have got it, but I mean, it was proper in the side netting, wasn't it?
Mate, he was beaten. He was beaten as soon as the strike went in, I think. Yeah.
As soon as it left his foot, you could see it was going in. But the disappointing thing, we'd played so well in defence up till that point that there was so much time for him just to pick his spot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, the way I looked at it was the fact that he was restricted to a 20, 25 yard shot. And I mean, if they're going to score from anything, maybe you rather that maybe than in behind
Well,
every
we've
time.
always said this on this podcast. We've always said if you're going to concede a goal, make it a good one. Make it one that you didn't, you didn't fanny around with and just bobbles in.
Don't get me wrong, though. It's still frustrating the fact that we didn't close him down quick enough. But you've got to admire the fact that he has got a little bit of pace about him when he shifts position and what side he goes to. Bear in mind, it might be his weaker foot or whatever else. But you know what? Good strike.
When that happens normally with us, though, when that happens when we're watching the football and the opposition score and and especially when you're having a poor season, you sit there and go, "Oh, here we go. They're going to go true to form now, and it's just going to kick
the
around."
atmosphere out, doesn't it?
But it didn't do that.
No,
it probably galvanised the team a bit more. We was in it for 30 odd minutes. We were in front for 15 of those, 13 of those.
Well, what I can say was I already knew it was going to finish 1-0 anyway because that's what I predicted, obviously, So just to let you know, everyone. Yes, I got the correct score for the second week in a row.
I know you're on a run,
Come
mate.
on, then.
On a run.
Right, just remind you that nobody but us cares about that.
Yeah, because Dave, you're bottom of the table, mate. You're already relegated, mate, this season.
I didn't think in the rest of the first half Leeds looked like getting another one. Not at all.
No, I don't. But similarly, we weren't cutting them open as well. It was a real middle third of the pitch battle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, there were a few times they got on behind and like wide positions and lofted the ball over the top. I remember that happening. But apart from that, their end product wasn't great anyway.
Yeah, so
it was the
weren't
final pass.
Leading up to their goal, I turned to people near me and just went, they're going to score here. Could you just feel it was going to come? But after that, I didn't feel that. No. I just felt we were in control of our game.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Yeah. I don't know. To be honest with you, I just thought it was a really even game. I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves, really good shape.
Yeah.
Let's say, and I loved our goal.
Yeah, and then you've got to look in second half. We had that injury very early on to Eli. I genuinely don't know what happened.
Yeah, we was trying to work out before the game.
It just looked so innocuous. I mean, I didn't recall it even being part of a tackle, of any note whatsoever. But he was clearly in a whole heap of pain, and after the game, he badly hobbled off. We've seen sort of leg injuries before with Elijah, and he's taken a while to get over them, hasn't he? So
you wouldn't be surprised if he didn't turn up at the Stoke game, but. In the past, I'd have been worried about that because we've got two strikers that are not scoring. But maybe it'll give Ali a chance, or maybe he'll start with Chong, who replaced him. I don't know. What do you feel?
I want to see Nordas play, personally. I don't know what he's done wrong. I think when he first played, I think he got an assist in he for the goal for Brown, was it? And he looked all right against Watford, so yeah.
maybe not quite up to speed that he needs to be.
Maybe not. Maybe they want to rush him. Maybe he's that good. You never know. And the fearing, maybe he's that good.
What, the secret weapon?
That if we go down, someone want to pick him up. You never know. He might be that good.
I mean, obviously, Jacob Brown is done for the season. You can't say that Elijah might not be done. It depends how bad the injury is. But for me, if I had to choose at the moment tomorrow between Nordas and Ali, I would pick Ali, and that is just because I feel that he's more direct. I think he's stronger, and 2-footed. Nordas put himself about a lot. Whether there's much structure to his movement against Leeds, maybe not. But I just feel because Ali has been in and around and been on the pitch more, I think that he at the moment will be a better choice to
obviously I know what you're saying. The only thing is with Ali though, isn't he more of a winger though, like an attacking like midfielder / wide player more than a striker? I know he's played up there a few times for Exeter, but I'm pretty sure he's a wide left player.
I think he's got everything needed to play straight down the middle.
He's strong.
And I just really like how direct he is. He doesn't seem to be concerned about a couple of defenders. He will just go. He will go through them, go around them all.
Skillful as well. Good balance. Of course.
There is a rawness, with his control maybe. But as I say, I just think he could cause, a defence like Stoke. I think he could cause them more problems than maybe Nordas, who isn't as strong. Maybe better in the air. Maybe I'll absolutely give him that where we are at the moment, but for me, I would pick Ali before.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised or upset if he was to start. So I mean, I'm a fan. To be fair, he looks good.
There were several players that deserve a mention, which we'll get onto really at the end of this little section. But Asgard had an opportunity. He was quality all day long. Yeah. A little touch in from Bell, and then he had a strike, and I think the goalkeeper pushed it away. Where's your luck? We had a bit of luck the other week. Another day he puts that top corner, and we're flying. I genuinely didn't feel that we were going to lose.
No, he's another player. He just looks like he's starting to really believe that he belongs at this level. Yeah. How many times does he just nick the ball away from the other person
and then flick it past?
Yeah, I know. He does that so often. He's deceptively quick over a very short space, and he does get the kicks in and that. So I thought Asgard was great.
I think so. I think Asgard was great. I think Chris was good. I thought Bell played well.
One tackle in particular, Makosa. The guy was just about to shoot, and he sort of just got right back and lunged, didn't he?
Yeah. I was going to talk about that.
That
was
an amazing,
unbelievable.
Yeah, because we said previous game when Hull away when Amari Bell sort of cut in and got the ball away from someone about to shoot. He was just about to put that in the net, and he just. Well, it was a bit of a lunge, but it was clean and it stopped it. And I think, again, he sort of give a bit of a fist pump to the crowd.
Celebrating those things. I mean, it's nice to see them doing that, celebrating those issues where they're not scoring, but they're stopping people scoring. And you got to start. You can't win if your defence is rubbish. No, you can't win.
No, that's right. I mean, he's a young, relatively inexperienced player. Yeah. And, this is going to be, on paper, Leeds is one of the best attacking outfits, for flair and quality. Yeah. He looked largely untroubled. He's really growing.
And the crazy thing is, I believe he was brought in as like a sort of like a...
One for the future.
Yeah, this is it, like a future development player, and all of a sudden he gets called in because of injuries and whatever else. And then you look at
he's showing so much class.
And you think, Jesus Christ, this guy's got all like the ability, like you look at him, he shows form like that for the rest of the season, next season, he could be playing at a higher level in a few years' time.
We keep mentioning Luton being Luton and playing like Luton, and sometimes when you're at 1-1 or you're sitting on that lead and you start to defend deeper, and you know it's going to backfire on us because it's coming, and we normally concede, and then you go home a bit disappointed. So when the board went up with 8 minutes to go, I was hoping that we wouldn't sit back and we'd really push on. How did you feel when the 8 minutes went up?
I'll be honest, I was excited as well, especially when he made the changes as well to bring on, I believe, was it Ali at left wing back or right wing back? And then he brought on Chong at left. He put Chong, didn't he, at left wing back, I believe. And as soon as I saw that, I looked at everyone was like, oh, that's a bit... We can't be doing that against Leeds. We're going to concede now. And I like it. He's going for the kill. Do you know what? I felt like is it 6 or 8 minutes? You say
8.
It was 8 minutes. Oh,
8
Christ.
minutes. Felt like 10.
Yeah, and in the 8 minutes, I felt like we had the majority of the ball. I don't know if that was true, but I felt like we did.
It felt like that, yeah. I mean, I was pleased when I saw that amount of time. And again, it just shows another change in the mood swing, doesn't it? You know, whereas before it would have been, oh, shite.
Yeah.
Now it was, right, we've got an opportunity. And, you know, I just felt that any time one of those passes was going to get played through, you know, by Asgard or Clarkey, just through the channel for one of them to pick it up. It didn't happen, but I just felt that, you know, we're getting closer to it. I really do.
Well, let's hope though, because after the whistle went, the team got the ovation they deserved for that 1 point. And you went to Kenilworth Road, and if you're not truthful, I don't know. When I say not truthful, if you didn't think that we're going to go to have a tough game against Leeds United, no one really expected us to get anything from it. But to get a point was great. I mean, 3 would have been perfect, but to get a point when you're not expecting it is great.
And it was thoroughly deserved as well.
Something else I find.
It was great. Possession-wise, though, when you look at the stats, Luton 34% possession, Leeds 66%, but we had 7 shots. They only had 8. So... And I think we've done right. I mean, Leeds are doing their general end of the season panic.
It must be a bit of a mental thing that's creeping in with them.
Do you think? You know, they just only won one of their last 6 games. That's crazy for them. They were going to run the league away at one point.
Or do you also think as well, it's a bit of a combination of both, whereas other teams around them are now pushing as well towards the end of the season.
Course,
and obviously they have to tighten up. I mean, look at the bottom half of the table. It's all of a sudden the bottom 6 teams are turning into form teams.
Yes. So who is losing then? Because you know you got like your Bolton. And I know Sheffield United lost the other day, but you know it just seems that everyone is winning that we don't want them to. Doesn't it?
But
it's an amazing stat when you look at things, and you know we've been poor all season. We can't say we haven't, but we've picked up. And it says here, thanks for producer Jacob. In March, only Burnley with 13 and Sheffield United with 13 picked up more championship points than Luton. And that's what we need for the last April and May.
Yeah, absolutely.
For us to do the same thing.
I think regardless if we stay up or go down, I think you're going to see a fairly big overhaul of the squad.
Yeah.
Well, talk about the squad. Let's talk about some of the players that played super well at the weekend. We've already touched on one. Is Makoso.
Yeah.
He's outstanding, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's outstanding. And for such a young player to be that good already.
And he doesn't speak a word of English apparently as well.
Well, he'll be learning. He will be learning a lot of English.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, again, we're going to say that it is the training. It is how he's, you know, settled in with the team. But if you get a chance at this level for him, he's got to go out there and take it. He's certainly done that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that is a really good group of players, though, to integrate someone in and make them feel welcome and important. You know, I think they're all, you know, they're good eggs. There's no problems there. It's largely down to him, but also, again, I'll say, you know, the training, you know, Matt Bloomfield says that they're just hammering the same points. Yeah. They're just practicing. And it's not just going to be, you know, something straightforward. You know, the whole structure of the team at any given time, you know, and if they're relentlessly practicing that and getting it into them, it will become second nature. And if the players on match day don't have to be thinking so much about where they need to be because they're just instinctively doing it, that means that there's one less thing for them to have to think about, and they just go and do it naturally. And again, I think that means that you're going to do it better, and therefore you're going to, you know, get results.
I didn't see who got officially player of the match. I didn't see that.
It was Asgard, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Asgard.
Yeah,
but it could have been Thilo Asgard. It was announced. Yeah.
Is it Thilo or Taylor?
I thought for the world it was Taylor, but we'll see.
I just want to say that, but there could have been so many nominees for that position. You know, who was your standout player of the game, Steve?
Well, for me, I thought it was Asgard. I think after that, it was just, you know, the whole team effort. I mean, I liked a lot of what you know, Elijah done. You know, the couple of bits where he ran with the ball. Colton again just seemed to spend most of the time arguing with the ref because it just seems that to him, he's getting the raw end of the stick many times.
Look, I know we whinge about the referees all the time, but
both sets of fans were commenting on his ability through the game.
We genuinely, I thought we deserved a little bit more than he gave us, but there you go.
Yeah, but
he also gave us a few things that probably shouldn't have gone our way as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
can somebody explain the situation where we had the ball in possession? Did it hit him? He gave the ball back to Leeds United. Did
one of our players run into him?
Yeah.
So, but we had the ball, and he gave the ball to them.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because he's a championship ref. I just feel that there is the referee is
gave the ball back to Leeds.
I thought it could continue to play on or whatever.
No, because the ball went out really quite quickly. They're just poor refs at the end of the day. You know, the Leeds fans felt equally aggrieved.
Yeah.
You know, so at the end of the day, I think he's just another crap.
He was shocking on both parts. Yeah.
Getting back to who stood out for you, Bataro?
Well, 100% Asgard. I mean, I was raving on about him the whole game, to be fair, to all the people I sit around, and I just kept banging on Asgard this, Asgard that. I sounded a bit like a fanboy, probably. You know, it was a bit sad, but no, as soon as he got man of the match, I was like, you knew it. I mean, you couldn't even argue. A few people were like, nah, it should have been Makoso, however you say it. I mean, you could have probably picked out the two, in my opinion. But for me, Asgard just looked, he made that difference in midfield again. And I'm going to say this now, right? Whether people agree with it or not, I don't really care. That's up to them. But I genuinely feel like he has been the difference in our little revival.
Asgard?
Yeah. I think he's controlling the midfield, and he's taking control.
He's certainly playing an awful lot better. He's certainly looking to get on the ball a lot more, and that's...
He definitely wants to score as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. But he's probably the one player where you think he's capable of going past two or three and smashing one in the top corner.
You see how last season we had Barkley? You see how he used to do things, and the ball was a bit like a magnet to him, and he just dictate that midfield. I feel that's what Asgard's doing now. He's relieving the pressure by the little touches and the little nicks that he takes off people.
So you're saying to us on this podcast that Asgard could be as good as Ross Barkley?
I'm not saying he can be as good. I'm not saying
making similarities.
Could be.
But at this level, yes.
Not straight away, but developing to that sort of level of
I mean, he's a strong boy as well. He's young. He's a strong boy. He likes to get stuck in as well. He's not scared. He's tall. He's pacey, a little bit pacey, and it's just the confidence and how
he's got a lot of ability. He's got a lot of ability.
He's so calm on the ball when he goes one way. It's almost like he knows 3 seconds before what's happening. He really knows what's going on.
I want to just put in another name. Actually, I thought had a good game, and that's Amari. I thought he did. You know, he's back to the Bell that could have played.
Yeah.
You know, in previous games and hasn't. But there, I thought at the weekend he had a tremendous game.
Yeah, he did.
We haven't seen it for quite a while because of injuries, form, or what have you. But when he is fit and when he is playing well in a settled defence, he is, you know, he's a good asset. We just haven't seen enough of it. But it's good that we're seeing it now, and we really must see it through to the end of the season.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say, it's a shame Darren's not here tonight, because I'm about to say how good Clark's been recently as well.
Oh, Clark has been exceptional,
honestly,
and you can't literally doubt his performances for the club. Sometimes he's peed a few people off, I guess, but he's there and he plays passionate football for Luton Town.
The way he drops as well, he drops into certain
he's all over the show, and he might make the odd mistake, but for his sake, he's there. Or he's just tenacious.
He's a very clever player. He absolutely cares about Luton. You know, he really cares. You can see that, and he drops into positions to cover and that.
Yeah, that's it.
He's ranked 3rd in the league for creating chances. This season, Clark.
Wow.
One of our best ever.
3rd in the league to create big chances this season. So, you know, as much as Darren knocks him occasionally, I think he realises that he does come good for us. And
he's one of our best ever free transfers.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? You know.
I think sometimes people forget the work rate and the shift he actually puts in as well. If you actually watch him, he don't stop. No. Like he says, he actually cares. He gives it. Do you know what I mean? He does give one, but it's just I mean, it's just nice to see everyone playing almost a bit of a freedom at the moment as well.
Did the performance and the result, and I've already asked you this at the beginning, so I'm going to ask you again, did it change your opinion on whether we can get out of this or not? Bataro, you're very vocal about not.
I just don't know if it's too late. I mean, with everyone winning around us as well and getting points on the board at the same time as us, I mean, it's going to be difficult, especially with that goal difference as well. I think it's going to come down to a point here or there, and I don't know what way it's going to sway.
If we get a result against Stoke and then get a result against Blackburn,
Well, I mean,
a
then,
good
yeah.
result, then Derby is like almost a cup final, isn't it? I know they've already sold around about 2,000 tickets for that.
I was going to say, we're getting another allocation, aren't we? for that?
And if we go up there and get that result, then it's on, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're in fine form, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think 4 wins in the last 5, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Eustace is a decent manager at this
Yeah.
level, and he's
He's
going
a
to
prick
get
as well.
He's going to get a tune out of them.
Steve, has your opinion changed? Can we stay up? Can you? Because it's all been doom and gloom.
Yeah. Well, no, it hasn't all been doing well, but for up to this point in the season, I think we will just fail at the moment for the reason that I said. It's just the goals scored. If Colton can find his scoring boost, I fully expect Elijah to be out for a few weeks. Just seeing how badly he was hobbling off. So let's say he's out for 3 weeks. That means that is even more pressure on Colton. Ali or Nordas, that they've got to step up. Midfield have got to step up more to find those goals. I just don't think we've got enough goals in us. I'd love it if I was massively wrong and suddenly we bang 3 away against Stoke. I don't care if they're 3 own goals, to be honest with you, but I think it's just the goals scored that's going to leave us a bit short.
I'm telling you now, Steve, it's going to be 2-1 to Luton tomorrow night.
Well, I think,
or tonight, as people list him.
Yeah, I think we've all predicted for us to win, which is great. But I think overall, to the end of the season, it's just the goal score that concerns me. We're in a so much better place. Our shape, discipline, press, everything is so much better. It's just the goals.
It's nice also to not have that vitriol against the manager going on every week. You know, and we've given Matt enough time to get it going. I mean, it took a while for him to get a win. But now recent form has been superb, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, absolutely. Yeah.
It's almost like he's like sort of getting us out of that rotting mindset that we had from the beginning of the season that obviously went on until obviously Bloomfield took over. It's now like, the rot is finally starting to sort of like, calm down a little bit.
Sometimes you wonder, did we do the change too late? But anyway, we'll find out. We asked you guys. It was a proper Luton Town performance against Leeds United. Who was your standout player of the game? And as we've been discussing, the escape is on in my eyes, but has your opinion on staying up changed? Zoe said it was a great performance by the team. Individual players stood out, but I must say Matt Bloomfield must take a lot of the credit too. He's got them playing like a team, changes when it needed. Got him playing like a team, changes when it needed, and got us all hoping of the great escape. Gary said, yes, a proper Luton performance and some good individual performances from Makoso, Asgard and Morris. But for me, Clark was up there, and I think one of his best games this season against a proper footballing team. I have the belief we can escape the drop, but it wouldn't be Luton Town without the drama.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, get as old as I am and seen it so many times. Do you know what? It's never not fun supporting Luton, is it? Chris said Saturday was a really good team performance from 1 to 11. Makoso and Clark will rightly get the plaudits, but Kaminsky and Adebayo deserve a mention for some key contributions. It's incredible how all the sides at the bottom are picking up points, which is making the escape harder. But when Luton get on a roll, they can pull off miracles. We could really do with scoring a few goals, as this is going to be to go to the wire, and the goal difference may play a role. Joe said, I thought a majority of the team played good on Saturday, but Asgard and Makoso stood out. Optimism is definitely improving. 4 games without defeat is nice, but we must win a minimum of half our last games and keep the momentum going. The Stoke and Derby games are especially crucial. And then finally, Phil says the introduction of Makoso is reminiscent of the impact, for all your old players that you'll know, Paul Futcher had in 1974 and 1975. Already looks our most reliable defender, but is also having a positive impact on McGuinness. So we're seeing what he's really capable of. However, Saturday showed that everyone is working hard individually and as a team. We're now seeing the impact that Bloomfield has had, and it mirrors his other jobs with a slow start, but then going on a good run. I still think we'll stay up. I've never given up hope. I'm just a little bit happier with the way it's going. I mean, you can't really argue with any of those.
No, I think they're all valid comments, aren't they?
Well, Stoke City next, a tough one. it's never. It's the last few times I've been up there, it's not been good. But they're not doing so great, really.
No. And like you say, back-to-back away wins for us. So you never know. Make it 3, make it a hat trick. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
So we've had a couple of wins there though over the last few years, haven't we?
When I've gone up there, I went up for the Nathan Jones game where he shouldn't have been in manager's seat. We didn't win then.
I think I was with you that day.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then I went up before. I don't know the other season. I went up there and we didn't win, and it's getting me down. So I just need to go up there and put in a good performance and get 3 points.
What I feel our chances on this one, Dave, we've been waxing lyrical about our shape and the improvements defensively. I feel that if we can really tuck into them and be really aggressive in the final third,
That's it, yeah.
I think they've got mistakes in them. And if we can create those opportunities and, poach 1 or 2, we really can most definitely win this game.
Yeah.
But we've got to get right into them.
The thing is, I think we've got to take our chances as well. Because if we do create 1 or 2 chances, which I feel like we will, we'll create a couple. We've got to take at least one of them.
We haven't done the double against Stoke since 1984-5 season under David Pleat. So we're deserving a bit of luck.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with that one. And it's crazy where we are at the moment, and it's just becoming every game is a big game.
Yeah.
I'm going for a 2-0 Luton win, everyone. Just to let you know, I wanted to go for 3-0, but I'm going to be realistic and go with 2-0.
It's 3-0 now.
Well, do you know what, Batara? I don't care if it's 3-0. I'll be loving it. What about you, Steve?
Well, I've gone for a win. I think I said 2-1, but yeah, I think we're going to win.
Yeah, I'm also a 2-1 victory as well. And like I said, it's coming in, so it's 3 in a row.
Next 5 fixtures: Stoke, Blackburn, Derby, Bristol, and Coventry, and 3 of those are at home. Got to win the home ones.
It's a nicer looking next 5 fixtures.
Yeah, for a change.
For the last couple of months, the next 5 fixtures, there's been a couple of absolute horrors in there. I'm not saying that they're going to be easy. However, it's a lot more friendly, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, look, again, as I stated at the start of this show, if you've tuned in on Spotify and YouTube, if you're on YouTube and you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. Steve, you're waving at me like you need to talk about somebody.
No. Do you think these next 5 fixtures are going to define the season though? Because these are all winnable.
100%.
I know it's an absolute crucial time anyway, but these 5 really
definitely the
do
next
it.
3. Definitely the next 3. We don't beat Stoke and we don't beat Derby, then you can just give it up. But if we can beat Stoke, get a result. Blackburn have been in blooming horrendous form against the bottom teams. Wait for them to turn up on bloody Saturday when we play them. Bristol City and Coventry. Bristol City, they're gunning for promotion. It's incredible where they are in this division. So that's not going to be an easy game. Coventry licking their wounds from a poor performance at the weekend.
Yeah.
We just need to get them on a good day when we're playing really well. And if it's time for our front 2 to start scoring against those.
It is. I mean, let's say 3 games down the line when we're due to face Bristol and Coventry, the picture might be quite a lot different for them.
But it might be a lot different for us.
Yeah.
If we don't beat Stoke and we don't beat Derby, then we're doomed. I wouldn't
necessarily say if we don't beat Stoke tomorrow. I mean, don't get it wrong. Obviously, even if we get a point tomorrow, and then obviously Blackburn at home must win.
We've had too many must wins.
Yeah.
And if we don't start, we've got to beat the teams around us.
Yeah.
And that's more, if we don't beat Bristol City because they're challenging for the playoffs, it's not so bad. But if we're not beating Stoke and we're not beating Derby, the teams that are initially right around us, then you let them get away and we're done for.
Yeah, it's the 6 pointers you've got to capitalise on.
Yeah. No, 100%. Don't get it wrong. I think earlier on the podcast, I said Stoke is in my opinion, a must win. Obviously Blackburn as well on the weekend, depending on results tomorrow, that could also be a must win.
Yeah.
Well, the next 2 days results,
are most games that we're going into now, are they must wins? Is that how we're looking at it? Because it's a psychological thing for us now.
Yeah, they're all.
You have to go in there and just go for the 3 points. You cannot sit back and go, do you know what, we'll take a draw.
Oh no, we're going into every game looking to win. That's clear. You can see that.
Yeah.
It's just you just pray that we can accomplish that more often than not now.
Yeah. Well, Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching you're not watching on Spotify, or you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or wherever else you get your podcast, pop across to YouTube and have a look, and you can see the lovely jumper that Steve is wearing this evening.
And his very clean white shirts as well.
And his very crisp white shirt.
It's a bit. Hang on a minute.
Are you
bit,
mocking knitwear?
No, not at all, mate. It's a bit browny inside there, you dirty
fellas.
git.
Well, listen, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back. We'll be back after the Blackburn game. Let's hope we get 3 points at Stoke. If you go in, I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you at Kenilworth Road. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.